I'm Scott Allen Miller. It is the 15th of May, 2022, and it is, I don't even know, it is Sunday, and today is our crazy get ready to travel day. Tomorrow, first thing in the morning around 6 o'clock, we are heading to the airport at Houston so we can fly to Costa Rica, catch taxis, and get back to our home in Nicaragua. But today, because of COVID, we are spending the day running around taking care of all of our COVID and travel necessities. So last night at 10 o'clock at night, Dominica and I were still shopping for enough suitcases because the suitcases that we already bought were not enough to take all of our stuff back. So we bought more suitcases, 2 more last night. So for a total of 4 additional suitcases to what we came with, so that we're ready to be packed and fly back. We're mostly packed, just a little bit left to do today, just the new suitcases portion. But so right now it is 8:15 in the morning and we are on our way. I've got the girls with me and we are headed to pick up Dominica and Kat so that we can drive up north in Houston near IAH, the Bush Intercontinental Airport, up on the north side of the city, where we're going to get our COVID test done. In theory, with our insurance, it should be free. If not, it's $100. Originally, we had found a testing place for $50, and the same as has happened every time we do this, by the time we go to use whatever testing facility we found when we're headed to a place, they have gone out of business by the time we arrive. And so we're constantly having to find a new place because no place is repeatable, no place remains around. That part's really tough, the constantly having to do the process over and over again. Every time, there's no, you never get to learn what's good and use it again. We're hoping that the one we found in Costa Rica will last and not have the same turnover that they do in the US. So we're off to do that now. As soon as that is done, we're doing family pictures for the kids, for all the grandkids, and then as soon as that is done, Dominica and I have an appointment to get our second booster shots while we're here, because we won't have a good opportunity to do that again for 6 months, and it's important to have them, especially with all the trouble. So that is our crazy day today. Every moment of today is going to be packed with errands and packing and just general prep, and then hopefully getting enough sleep to be able to fly tomorrow. Whew. Yeah, so we're getting this day started. The girls are here. I'm going to pick up Dominica and Kat in just a minute, and we're going to be on our way to our testing. All right, Dominica and Kat are here. It is time to run off and get our test. So everybody say good morning.
Good morning.
All right, we're going to go get our COVID test. All right, we are on our way back to the house. We did our COVID test, and of course, as it always is, it is a complete disaster in the United States and incredibly frustrating and expensive. So the COVID test, for which we had insurance and had done a bunch of research and knew it was going to be free, which is a really big deal because the insurance was going to cover it, and there's very few COVID testing places around. So we had to drive an hour to get to the COVID testing place. We got there, and then they decided not to take our insurance. They do take insurance, but only other insurance and not very much, and ones that people don't tend to have because the insurance changes every year because of the way it works in the United States. So you can just pick whatever is not popular that year and not really cover insurance. So even the kids who have state insurance from the state of Texas are not covered in Texas. So that was frustrating. So that cost us $400 that we were not expecting after doing an hour's drive. Like, the whole system is not as convenient, cheap, or anything as the third world. So that was the start of a frustrating morning. We got our COVID test done. We should get our results in 10 hours. Fingers crossed that everything is good. We fly in the morning, and then we had, so we decided to try to get breakfast in our way. We tried to run back in the, we tried to get breakfast really quickly. We ran into Taco Bell, and the employees were locked out of Taco Bell, and so we were not able to eat there. So while Dominica was pumping gas, the rest of us ran over to Jack in the Box, which is open 24 hours, so we knew we'd be able to get food, and they were unable to serve food because all of their employees were sitting out on the sidewalk, also locked out. How you get locked out of a place that never closes, I have no idea. But that's what happened. So we did not manage to get any food. And we're feeling the frustration of the American experience on our last day, as it seems like all the things that are supposed to be the things that work here don't work. All right, we're driving back the hour so that we can go do family pictures, and then we're off to do more packing, and Dominic and I have to get our COVID boosters in a few hours. Our day of COVID stuff, testing and whatever, went okay. They actually got us our results back pretty quickly, about 6 hours, and we are all negative, all 5 of us, so we are good to fly tomorrow. We are pretty much at the 11th hour. As I record this, we are under 12 hours until we fly, so this won't be edited or posted until long after we are back. Yeah, busy morning. We got back. We got back to the house just in time to throw everyone in the car and drive out to do family pictures, which if you check my shorts from the actual date that this episode is about, you can see the cousins getting ready to do their family pictures over at Joe and Brittany's house in Friendswood. And from there, Dominic and I went out and picked up food for everybody at Jack in the Box and Taco Bell, which we had tried earlier today, and they were all locked up in North Houston. I keep saying Dallas today. And but down here in Friendswood, they were open, so we were able to get food for everybody. Of course, they messed up our order at Taco Bell on our final one. So once again, I didn't get my order, but it was what I got was still okay. And from there, it was time to pack. There's a lot of packing to do. We have new suitcases, and we have so much stuff going back that we're kind of overloaded. So Dominica really has a challenge of getting everything balanced, and she's going to be spending the whole day doing that. We have a lot of new equipment that has to be carefully put in. My new camera bag, which I'm quite excited about, arrived today. It's just an Amazon Basics. It was really cheap, and I got it because it was so cheap, and I wanted to try it out. It's a sling / crossbody bag, meant to be much smaller for carrying like one camera or like the GoPro and a smaller Olympus, which I have. And a lot of times when I go out, I want to take a couple lenses with me. I want to have a few supplies, but I don't want to have too much, and I can't handle like my big, like I love my big camera bag, but it's just not realistic to take in many circumstances. I'm going to turn around and go the other way, because just like when we were in Nicaragua, there is super loud music in the street, and I can't walk over there because of it being picked up by the microphone. So having a small bag that's really easy for having just enough for going on a city walk, for example, or going to the beach is perfect. And it was just $30. So I said, you know what, I'm going to get that and give it a try, and that arrived today. And I actually am really excited. When I ordered it, I was like, I think it'll be useful. Now that I have it, I'm like, ooh, I really like the setup of this, and I'm going to show it to you guys sometime this week when I'm in my office, in my studio, and I can take it out and really show it to you. But it seems like it's going to be super useful at very low price. So, and I don't have any affiliate links or anything. I'm just happy that I got it. At about 1 o'clock, Dominic and I had to run out to Walgreens, and we got our second booster. So we have all 4 of our Pfizer COVID shots at this point. We wanted to make sure we got them up here before we headed back, both because it's going to be 6 months until we're here again, and it's free when you're here, and it looks like they're about to defund the shots here in the United States. So if we wait, they will have to pay for them, very likely, and it will be a long time until we can get them. So we wanted to prioritize that and get it before we went. After that, we came back, and it was just hanging out the house, doing packing and other last-minute tasks to get ourselves ready to be able to go. Now, something I want to point out while we're here, at this point, we're just on our way to the airport, basically. We need to leave at about 7 o'clock in the morning. Our flight is tomorrow at 10:55, Southwest, out of Hobby in Houston, flying out to Liberia, Costa Rica. We will then get taxis that take us all the way through up to León, Nicaragua. While we've been in Nicaragua, something that comes up a lot is we talk about all the power outages. We talk about the storms and internet outages and all those kinds of things. And it's easy to be like, oh, look at all these problems that they have in Nicaragua. And while we've been here in Texas, we've been mostly unaffected. But our nephew had to be sent home from school because the power was out where he was, somewhere just in another neighborhood right here. And there's been several of those things since we've been here. Yesterday, Texas, even though the temperature is very, very mild compared to what we're used to in Nicaragua, had 6 power plants fail, and they've asked everyone to stop using electricity that they don't need because the state doesn't have enough power to supply. And remember, right, just a couple weeks before we left to move to Nicaragua, we went through an extended, massive power outage here in Texas that clearly in a year they have not managed to do anything to fix. And they're having all these power outages again and anticipating a lot more. It's only May, and it's only going to get worse as we move forward. So those things are not... It's not a completely different story. They've had every bit as many power outages and issues here in Texas as we have in Nicaragua during the same time frame. When we're in Nicaragua, we have a natural affinity to remember our time in America more fondly. Oh, the power never goes out in America. Never have problems like this. We never have leaks. We never have... While we've been here, we had the refrigerator die. That happened yesterday, and today it actually got replaced here at the house. That happens constantly at Christmas. 3 appliances died, I think, the microwave and the oven and something else. Like, it's you know, and we go at the hotel, we're constantly like, oh, another fridge died. They're dying. The appliances are dying here in the States just as fast, and the power is out. Maybe not as often. For the first while in Nicaragua, we had no power outages. Then once Alan came, they happened all the time. I don't know what's going on. People say it's because of the construction of the hospital, but it could be anything. But that stuff is still going on here in the States, and this is one of the richest, biggest states by population, by size, by anything. And those problems are here too. And the internet has been slower than we have in Nicaragua, and just all of the problems, all the things that we tend to complain about down there, and have this, if only you were back in America, it wouldn't be like that. It absolutely is. We're looking at America through rose-colored glasses. These problems exist everywhere. We're used to dealing with them. When we're in the United States and the power goes out, we're like, we have a good idea. How long is it gonna be? We know, who to contact. We don't panic because we know how to deal with it because it's our house and we've been here for a long time, and just, we're built to handle it. And when you're in Leon and it happens, you're like, I don't know who to call. I don't know, do I need to do something? How do I know it wasn't my power bill? And you run around worrying that you did something wrong for a while. And then when it comes back, you're relieved, and everyone talks about it because we just have communications over a bigger area, and we have a better idea that other people have the power going out. Here, normally, if like my neighbors have the power go out, I don't know, right? Maybe, but I don't normally talk to people and say, hey, is the power out over there? But in Nicaragua, we do that. I don't know why the communications is so much different, but it really is. And so we're constantly hearing about someone with the power out, even when ours is not out. And that makes it feel like the power is going out a lot more often than it is here, just because of the communications about it happening so much more. And of course, there's been so many tragic shootings and such that have happened since we've been here. It's really, you know, as we've paid attention, it's like, other than the beauty of Amazon delivery, we're not really getting, and the other thing was just how long things take, right? It's easy when you're in Nicaragua to feel like the way that time happens. And I'm gonna do an episode about Nica time and the perception of how time works, and how culturally Americans manage that by making time predictable. But here, like, for example, when we had to get a refrigerator in Nicaragua, the delivery time on that was about 45 minutes. They literally were pulling out of the warehouse with it on the truck as fast as we could get it in our car and leave the same place that we bought it from, right? We were racing to get to our home before they were there, and delivery was often free. Here, it took not much time, but an entire day. They ordered it yesterday morning, and it was set to arrive sometime today, and it came in the middle of the afternoon. So that was something like 28 hours from the time they bought it until they got it. And during that time, there was a lot of you just had to wait around because you didn't know when it was going to arrive. But in Nicaragua, you knew they were following you or going to be there in a few minutes. So you didn't have that waiting around, and it was fast. Same with everything, right? There were some plumbing issues, there were some different things, and everything was, it's going to take a while. And you remember, wow, in Nicaragua, this would not have taken a while, right? And the COVID test, we had to drive so far and got surprised by a huge bill. In Nicaragua, that stuff would be completely predictable. in the case of a COVID test, it would still be expensive. It would still be a long trip, but at least we would know what it was going to be and not be surprised by a huge bill that we thought wasn't going to be there because we thought we had insurance. The other thing that we did today, in the middle of the afternoon, while everybody else was packing or whatever, Garrett went out with Liesl and Clara, and I joined them, and we went on a GoPro filming trip on the golf cart and drove all around the community here, where I'm filming right now, and got some footage for you. So I'm going to go to that now and leave you with this as our last bit of just showing you a little bit around Texas as we get prepared to leave. So please remember to like and subscribe. Thanks for joining me, and stay tuned, because tomorrow we're going to be in Costa Rica by around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and in Nicaragua hopefully by about 3 or 4 o'clock. We should be home by pretty late in the evening, but we'll see you all tomorrow.